Now let's talk about To Beat or Not to Beat, which is episode 72B. And here's our other special guest, Francine. Hi, guys. Hey, Francine. How's it going? Pretty good. I was just practicing the drums for a while. That's perfect, because this episode has you playing the drums. That is perfect. Okay then, let's get started. So this episode starts out with me swinging on a tire swing and telling the viewers that Francine can do a lot of things well, like hitting the ball and arguing. Then she was shown trying to fly. Buster told me that she could hurt herself, so I told her that flying is impossible. Then after the title card was read, Mr. Rapper gave us extra homework to focus on what's really important. I thought the talent show was important, not homework. Yeah, me too. Anyway, the scene transitions to me, Buster, and the Brain walking and talking about our talents we were going to do for the talent show. All of a sudden, we heard a strange noise. It turned out it was Francine practicing her drums and singing at the same time. Well, she did say she had a surprise for us. I didn't expect that surprise, though. Me neither. Anyway, the scene transitions to me, Buster, and the Brain finishing our shakes. We then talked about what we were going to do about Francine. Somehow we had to tell her she sounds terrible before the talent show. The scene then transitions to me and Pal in bed. In the imagination sequence, it showed how Francine's feelings were hurt. Even the musicians were crying. Then in another imagination sequence, I was at Francine's house eating cookies with her. Catherine was watching a show where a singer sounded a lot like Francine and she was famous. Back to reality, the scene transitions to me, Buster, and the Brain building a card tower in the treehouse. We talked about how we were going to tell Francine to quit the talent show. We decided to ask Muffy to tell her. Except Muffy would never say anything bad about Francine. There had to be a way for Muffy to hear the song without knowing it's Francine. So we disguised as bushes, and Brain turned on the tape recorder, which was attached to a toy car. Then the scene transitions to Muffy hearing the song. We told her it was Francine practicing for the talent show. We soon realized her singing was affecting her drumming. So the only thing we had to do was to stop her from singing. Muffy tried to talk to her, but she didn't believe her. Then I talked to her. Then Buster. Then Brain. She didn't believe any of us. In the treehouse, we talked about how she could not believe all four of us. Then Francine entered the scene with an audio cassette we accidentally dropped. She thanked us for warning her and decided to do just one talent of hers. The scene then transitions to the talent show. Francine walked on stage and was going to sing, not drum. But you know what? She sounded good. Except she didn't win. George did. He always wins. Don't remind me. Sorry. Anyway, the scene transitions to Francine playing the drums and singing at the same time once again. Of course, Muffy had earplugs. And that's how the episode ends. Now that I think about it, I sure do need practice on singing and playing the drums at the same time. That's okay, Francine. We all need practice on certain talents. You know what, Arthur? You're right. Thank you. Well, that's Arthur's music medley. Now let's talk about each episode as a whole. What did you think of Arthur Plays the Blues, Buster? Well, Arthur, I thought this episode didn't make me feel blue at all. It was good, because it taught me that practice is extremely important if you want to make progress. True. What about Brother, Can You Spare a Clarinet? What did you think of that? Well, I thought I needed earplugs for this episode. I mean, all that squeaking was so annoying I could barely make it. But the pie in the face gag was pretty cool. Moving on. What about To Beat or Not to Beat? What did you think of that? Well, I still needed earplugs for this episode. I mean, the drumming and singing were just awful. Yeah, but when Francine only sang, what did you think of that? Oh, when Francine only sang, it was phenomenal. Interesting. I guess some talents we're really good at and some we just have to work on. Exactly. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for today. I would like to thank Binky and Francine for coming onto our show. I would also like to thank Buster for helping me out with this podcast. Finally, I would like to thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye!